You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Neri here from Drakewing Gaming. As some of you mounts what of the Gaming Drag today, I'm coming back at you to the Let's Play episode of Echo Route 65. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alright. I used equipment like that before when I had to do a video story for the school news. The AV Club rents them out to students for school projects. Are you, working on a school project? I see Leo's muzzle pull into a tight-lipped hold. He steps forward, taking hold of my shoulders. No, for the love of God, Chase, please don't ask me about it again. His demeanor seems more akin to begging than annoyance, flickers of fear in his eyes. I stand in his grasp, slack-jawed. This is beyond strange, but I can tell he's serious about his request. Alright, but... Chase. Leo, are you okay? I just want to get back to town with you, yeah? I guess I can respect that request. I'm assuming TJ's already been picked up by now. I feel completely awkward having left our talk where we did. It reminds me of the shock I laid on my parents, and I realize my earnest coming out has now been shifted in his mind to my porn deviancy. He's still probably blaming himself for everything, too. Meanwhile, it turns out Leo is gay and likes me, and despite everything, the stuff he described feeling about me, I feel about him. My emotions are so damn conflicted right now. This emo vampire music is actually resonating with me. Leo releases my shoulders and moves toward the back door, tugging it a few times. He huffs some, then gives it a hard kick with his foot. One of the hinges snaps and the door falls into a hanging diagonal position. With a swift stop, the other two hinges snap off as well, leaving the metal door on the floor. We could have gone out the front. Well, he stares at the door at his feet before looking up at me. We wouldn't have been as rebellious. You like destruction of property, don't you? I break a mirror at one rest stop when I was 8. Because you didn't get the toy you wanted in your kiddie meal. He smiles teasingly at me, the moonlight illuminating his backside. I can see the faint purples in the sky of inevitable sunrise as well. Hey, you know we don't have fast food joints like that around here. That was my one chance at getting that figurine from that stupid dinosaur movie. Your hand was so damn bloody, I thought you were the coolest. There was a pause. I stepped past him into the fresh, far less musty air, the faint scent of Leo's cologne now more palpable. I crossed my arms, staring down the rusty metal of the fire escape like stairwell. I still do. Oh, bullshit, man. I try to maintain a healthy amount of skepticism for his words now. Though, looking at him now and having known Leo long enough, I don't sense any visible signs of deception. My dad actually suggested I be a decent journalist, since I'm pretty good at reading people and their emotions. Though he might have just said that to try to dissuade me from videography. Leo begins to descend the stairway, keeping his paws hovering above the guardrail just in case. I pull out my phone, using the screen as a flashlight for us. I'm serious, he acts so damn level-headed all the time. Everyone else in our group, not to be insulting them or nothing, because they're family, but they can be pretty out there, yeah? You're always so calm and balanced, though. You mean generic and boring, man. Nah, like, you're always hanging in the background, almost invisible-like, and then you say some snarky shit and everybody loves it. Loses it. Loses it, loves it, same thing. You're observant, yeah? Like Flynn, but less of an insulting shit about it. My parents, my siblings, they love you, dude. Mom's always asking me when Chase is gonna come around again. We reach the end of the stairway. The insides of my ears probably ruby red at this point. The back lot of Parsons is mainly composed of old piles of dirt and some foundation, like they were planning on expanding before they shut down. I'm not gonna corrupt TJ or fuck Flynn. You can ease up on the compliments. I turn and smirk at Leo, a little in disbelief that those words just left my mouth. We start walking. Good. I have no clue what you're into, actually. Honestly? Honesty. Leo looks at me a little warily, that same guilty expression crossing his muzzle once again. And, you know, muscles, I guess. I see Leo's eyes light up, his maw pulling into a fangy grin. It actually is a pretty frightening visage in the middle of the night, were it anyone but Leo. Predators, man. You should come to more of my games if you want to see those. The internet exists, too. Yeah, and how'd that work out for you earlier? I feel that pang of remembrance and the ensuing feelings of shame all over again. This whole night did exactly what I wanted after all, distracted me from my problem. I feel Leo's eyes on me, his face softening. He places his paw on my back. You missed a lot of this season. You weren't even at my homecoming. The tickets were like $30. I was saving up for that multiplayer driving sim game with Carl. We eventually played it for like 3 hours and never touched again. Won by only a few points, and I got 2 touchdowns. If you were there, I would have pointed to the stands where you were and everything. Embarrassed the shit out of you, huh? I wouldn't be embarrassed. I'd be, well, I am proud of you. In the past, I had vocally lamented Leo's ascension to jockhood, especially his douchebag townie teammates. Bah! Now it's Leo's turn to be dubious. He clicks his tongue against the roof of his mouth, shaking his head. You and Carl just think I'm a different person now that I play varsity. Carl and I would poke fun at him about it. I think our jokes genuinely upset him. I've never really properly apologized about all that. In reality, I just didn't like the fact he spent most of his after-school time at practice. I miss him. You're not. You've always been a blockhead, a block-headed ball slinger. That hasn't changed. Leo lets out a deep chortle. You gonna join the cheerleading squad now for me, Otter? Pfft, I ain't flexible enough for that. You think I can do a high kick? No, but I'd pay $1 to see you try. Coming to a stop, I look down at my stubby legs. $1 is $1. That's 1/4 of what I need to get a burger at the diner. $1 is $1. Okay, wait. You're not gonna film this too? You're not gonna film this too. The wolf's shoulders tense, his gaze snapping to me. Chase, you said I wouldn't ask about it. Doesn't mean I can't tease you about it. He huffs, but I can tell that sort of cheered him up in a way. Just don't mention it around the group, okay? I make a circle with my fingers in a gesture of acknowledgement. Make sure there is no errant shrubbery around me before directing my muscles to lift my right leg as high up as it will go. Turns out that is barely a 60-degree angle from its stationary position. I hear the wolf snigger. Oh, come on, I'm just a sack of furry stone and even I can kick higher than that. We're 2 different species, give me a break. Work for that $1, Chase. Defy species norms and negative stereotypes, as Jasmine says. There are physical limitations here that no third-period social sciences class can overcome. I don't think an otter being paid to perform for a wolf's amusement is exactly a progressive act. I believe in you. He says that as saccharine and schmaltzily as possible, eliciting an eye roll from yours truly. I lift my leg, this time bracing my hands underneath my thigh and pushing up. I manage to get the thigh itself much higher, though I'm having trouble fully extending at the knee. Leah notices and steps over, tugging my calf and holding the small of my back supportively so I don't tip over. The muscles are starting to burn something fierce, and the position is pretty damn compromising. I frown as hard as I can up at Leo, who bursts into laughter. Okay, now I wish I was filming this, Otter. Dude! I wriggle free, rubbing my now sore leg before continuing onward. True to his word, Leo fishes his wallet out of the back of his jeans and hands me a crisp $1 bill. I pocket the dollar, looking back over toward Leo. Don't I get a tip? The tip comes later. Jesus Christ. I bury my face in my paws, groaning in contrast to the baritone cackling of the wolf beside me. Jokes like that have a whole new meaning after tonight. As I peek through my fingers, I see that the sun has crested the edge of the mountains, and the world is bathed in glimmers of orange. I've been up for nearly 24 hours now, and my body feels more tingly than tired. We start walking beside the main road now, the lack of vehicle traffic giving an eerie stillness to the desert. Leo walks close to me, to the point where our paws brush against each other from time to time. So, that party. One of Leo's large ears flicks in my direction before he turns, canting his head curiously. Yeah? That wasn't very Day of the Dead-y, was it? He shakes his head. No, it was not. I think some of those deadbeats thought I had to do with the movie. I only really remember celebrating it once in my home country. Though I wouldn't really say it was a celebration, yeah? I just remember my mom, dad, and siblings gathering in a cemetery. We placed orange marigolds in front of the abuela's graves and lit candles and ate quesadillas. Carl would like that last part. No shit. The prospect of food actually helped him get over his social anxiety to come with me. I see Leo's face shift to a tight frown. Fuck, man, that party probably made his issues so much worse. They barely had any fucking food, too. Some tool named Robert just brought a bunch of fruit. Better than nothing. I quietly mourn the absence of my mango as my stomach growls. But yeah, I remember we just talked about the loved ones of who have passed, told stories, and sort of acted like they were there. So do you actually believe that those who have passed can listen to us when we want them to? He looks up for a moment, the color of sunrise now matching the hue of his fur. Sweat stains are visible around his armpits. His knuckles are still bloody and his head fur is a complete mess. That being said, it is kind of a good look for him. Not so much for yours truly, though. No. His gaze shifts back ahead, his tone neutral. But it helps the living, you know? We still gotta get by. The silence hangs between us. It's pretty obvious his mind has drifted to memories of Sydney. Mine as well. The sort of awkwardness is common now. Sharing trauma like that and carrying on like nothing happened is usually our go-to. It has been about 4 years now, and it hasn't gotten any easier. Too many reminders here. We're all fucked up from it. Leo's overprotectiveness, Carl's anxiety, Jasmine's escapism, Flynn's rage, my hallucinations, and TJ. God, poor TJ. Maybe next year we could try. Chase. Leo looks at me, his eyes meeting my own before drifting to my paw. Slowly he reaches over, grasping mine in his. I just want to move on. Cherish what I got, yeah? I want to... I can hear the word forget upon the tip of his tongue, but he can't bring himself to say it out loud. Instead, he squeezes my paw tighter. I squeeze back. My therapist told me that I should talk about it more, but it isn't something that I can just, broach in between talk of football and video games. Sure as shit way to kill any good feelings in the area, that's for sure. Like, right now? Otter. He brings our paws up in front of us, forcing me to look at our own interlaced fingers. Seeing the size difference, the red fur gripping my own, is enough to make my neck feel hot and my heart thud heavy. Look at what we're doing right now. We can shoot the sad shit about how tragic everything in Echo is, or we can go against the grain and be happy. I say let's be fucking happy. Leo smiles down at me, letting our paws fall back down to our sides. Despite his motivational wording, I can tell from the gleam in his eyes that he's nervous, his usual confident bravado shaken in this new territory. I don't blame him. I say this sort of thing is supposed to give you a butterflies in your stomach feeling. Yet as we walk along the abandoned Route 65, I feel less like I have butterflies and more like I'm about to jump out of a fucking plane. It isn't that simple, Leo. Well, fuck it. Let's pretend it is for a while and see how that goes. What exactly are you asking for? He rubs his forehead, his fanged teeth briefly gritted. I don't know how to explain it. Just cheer up. It wasn't exactly eloquently put, even by Leo's standards. I haven't eaten anything since lunch, swam or slept in 24 hours. I've been beaten in the head, wasn't able to save TJ from getting bullied to hell, and my parents caught me looking at gay porn and now will never look at me the same way again. I still have to deal with that. I'm not exactly in the best of mental states at the moment. Though this... I gesticulate to the two of us with a swirl of my free hand. Is, helping. Freaking me out, for sure, but glad you're here. We'll make all that right. I feel my phone vibrate against my thigh, my heart sinking. I realize quickly, though, that it's just a text message and not another call from my parents. Mom and Dad haven't sent a text message in their lives, and as far as I know, saying they prefer talk as short text messages can lead to confusion. I do agree with them on that second bit. There's only one lawgiver and judge, the one who was able to save and destroy. But who are you to judge your neighbor? Who is it? James, 412. I see Leo sort of crane his neck toward the phone, though he quickly recoils as I glance over at him. Sorry. It's alright, it's from TJ, he's being religiously helpful. I manage a goofy smile, holding up the screen to Leo. He squints down at it for a moment and exudes a slow smirk, covering his forehead with his paw. Hey, Madre, why can't they all be like TJ? But who are we to judge? I put on a bit of a voice for that line. Leo groans, nudging me roughly. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have even gone to the party and learned about you and Flynn being like me. You think this is one of those fate things? I shrugged. Bet Jasmine will be squealing when she hears about all this shit. This is just like one of her comics, The Mangoes. Alright, y'all, I'm going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout-out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!